Hello everyone, welcome back to this new episode. We found a SQL injection, we exploited it, and we found the username and password for the SSH access. Now it's time to log in and rock. Let's get started. If you're new to this channel, it's all about practical ethical hacking where you can learn different techniques in web, mobile, CTFs, etc. So let's continue by logging in to our SSH server. So this is what we're going to do. So John is the username and the password is this one. So that would be SSH John at ctf09.root me.org. Yes. And let's paste in our password. And it seems that we are in. Oh, no. Connection to CTF closed. Funds have been withdrawn. Okay. Well, it seems that we've gained access to the machine because we see a typical welcome page. But funds have been withdrawn. Well, that's interesting. Okay, let's retry this and verify that indeed we can run commands. So we can simply append the command that we want and hit enter. Enter our password. And yes, indeed, we see that we are user John. So how can we make sure that we don't lose the prompt? I'll let you think for 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1, yes, it's bash. We are going to run bash. And if we type now ID, we are John. Okay. So where are we? We are in the home directory of John. What do we have? We have a bash history and we have other files. Now this behavior, funds have been withdrawn and then closing. I suspect that it has been defined in the bash rc file or the .pro file. So before we read that though, I just want to cat the content of the history file. Nothing really interesting, just 7 bytes ls-la. So let's cat the .bash rc. And right away, as you can see here, echo funds have been withdrawn, and then the exit command, which explains why we lost the shell. Okay, so how can we bypass this? Well, we could remove those 3 lines, okay? But how can we do that? We don't have a interactive prompt. It's a lame prompt that doesn't even show the actual path. So hear me out. If I list the number of lines of the bash rc file, you can see it's 114 lines. So if we get only 111, we can do that using the head command bash rc. As you can see, we don't have funds withdrawn whatever message printed out. That's cool. Well, we can build upon that. And so we can redirect the result of that file to something called consider subscribing. And from there, I'm going to move consider subscribing and name it bash rc. You see where this is going. Now, if I cat the new file, we don't have that command anymore, and we certainly don't have the exit command. So I'm going to exit from that, and let's get back to the same box using SSH. Paste in, well, not consider subscribing, but we need the password. So voila. And now we have the comfort of an SSH prompt. Okay, let's enumerate what do we have in the home directory. So we have other users, Sarah and William. Do we have any other IP addresses? Just the private one and the loopback. What are other services running here? So we have SSH, we have the MySQL running on localhost, and we have Squid. Okay, what about MySQL? Can we log into the database? I guess we can, because we have the web site, and inside we have the login.php. So we get to learn the logic behind the logging, but also we have the credentials for the SQL database. But just out of curiosity, let's look at the logic here. So as we suspected, there is some inspection for special characters or strings like select, true, false, dash dash, or equals, and not, etc. We don't have union though. I wonder why it has been stripped out. So we take the email from the post parameter, and we use this stir I replace with our SQL injection array, and we replace everything with nothing, with just an empty string. We do the same thing for password, and then we construct our SQL query, but the developer makes the mistake of concatenating the user input into the SQL query. The query is run, and then we catch if there is any errors or not. And if there is no user, then we print login failed, otherwise we print the error. Sounds straightforward, yet vulnerable. So let's use those credentials to log in. So we know that the database name is called SkyTower, and the user is root, and the password is this one. Do we have MySQL? Let's try it out. Yes, we get access. I mean, this is not a good operational security practice. Never do that in real engagements. This will disclose the password of the MySQL database in your command history. We don't want that. So let's show databases. So as we suspected, there is a Skynet database. Let's use that. And let's show tables. Oh, we only have one type table. Let's describe it. It has an ID, an email, and a password. So we can simply say select star from, what's the table again? Login. And that would be it. Ooh. Plaintext passwords stored in the database. A big no-no. So we have Sarah and we have William. It looks like we have access to both users. Let's verify if we can SSH. So SSH. We'll start with William. William at rootme.org. It's actually CTF 09. And yes, it's pasted in William's password, and it looks like we're in. The problem though is that we have the same issue as before. So we need to remove the funds have been withdrawn. So we can do that real quick. So that was head 111 lines from bash rc, and put it in a P file, and then move P to bash rc. Let's paste in the password. And now if we log back in as William, we are in as William. Cool. So what do we have in his home directory? We have nothing. Interesting. Okay. Do we have something in sudo? No. User William may not run sudo on SkyTower. Okay, what about the other user, Sarah? So a shorter way to do that is to use su-sarah. And what is the password? Here it is. Sorry. And we need to hit enter and then enter the password. Funds have been withdrawn, the same thing. Okay. Well, I can use the -c command and retry the same trick as before. And now if we su-sarah with just the password, we gain access as Sarah. Let's see if this user has something to run as sudo. Oh, yes. Okay. So we can run bin/cat space accounts. So we can cat anything under accounts, and we can list anything under accounts. Okay, let's do that. Sudo like that. We have nothing, and that's probably because we have nothing under accounts. Yep, nothing is there. However, I can't help but notice that it's a really bad idea to use wildcards when defining sensitive commands that should be run as root by other users. And to learn why, we're going to see that in the next video. So don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the ring bell to receive the video once it goes live. As always, stay curious, keep learning, and go find some bugs.